Hello everyone, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you are keeping well. My name is Masi Goki and this is my YouTube channel. Karibu sana. Today, I want us to talk about something that has been in the airwaves for quite a while, about a month or thereabout, the adolescent pregnancy. It was written in the newspapers and it has been going around that about 4,000 young girls have become pregnant in one county. That's shocking. It's not funny. It's not interesting. We thank God for children, but not children of children. So it's a concern for all of us. A concern for us as teachers, as parents, as community, as a society, and I believe it's a concern too for the government. Because how can 4,000 young girls become pregnant in a short spell of pandemic? What happens? Or exactly what happened? And it's very interesting that we are all talking about the girl child, but nobody seems to be talking about the boy child. Who exactly impregnated the girl child? Let's talk about this. Then if we have a challenge, it's both the girl and the boy. I don't just want to talk about it out there and badmouth today's children and say that today's children are disobedient and all those kind of things. I would want to contribute maybe to the parents now that I may not reach all the children. Having been a parent, I know parenting is not easy. But what I know is it is possible. It's not easy, but it is possible. We can bring up children that will be useful to the community, useful to the society, and even to they themselves. So allow me to propose 9 points to the parents of what they can do to partner with God as we bring up our teenagers. First and foremost, even before I talk about my 9 points, I want to challenge every parent to know that they were teenagers just the other day. They have just grown. You have just grown. You are a teenager, and maybe some of you were crazy teenagers. Maybe you are this kind of teenagers that give their parents so much trouble. So even as you deal with your child, don't deal with your child from a point of perfection. Deal with your child from this point of supporting them to grow well so that they do not have trouble even as they become young adults and later they become full adults and of course they become parents. Take a journey with your child. Partner with your child. Walk with them. Don't leave them to grow like a bush. Do anything that you can to be a good custodian of God's gift. You may not make decisions for your child. Sometimes you do so much and your child still doesn't come out as good, but at least do that which you are required to do. These are my suggestions. I propose that we love our children. Let's love our children unconditionally. Daddy, take charge over your girl. Let your girl know that daddy loves me. When you love your girl child as daddy, doesn't matter what another man will tell her or another boy will tell her. She's already assured from home. So it will not be anything so striking after all. Mommy, show love to your boy child. So that even when she meets some crazy girls out there, when he meets some crazy girls out there, he has already felt warmth and love from home. So there is really nothing so exciting. What am I saying? Let's love our boy and girl child unconditionally. It's unfortunate sometimes we tie gifts with behavior. If you do this, then I do this. And it looks like blackmail. Let's practice to love, even when our children are really not behaving very well. Let's focus on the positive that the children are doing. Study says that if you emphasize on the positive, you will get more of positive behavior. If you emphasize on negative, you will get more negative behavior. So out of the 10 things that your son, your daughter has done, you might find that only 5 they have done correctly. What about picking the 5 and blowing them out of proportion until the child feels like, oh, I am always doing the right thing? So there will be that motivation to do the right thing. But if out of 10, they do 9 correct, and then the one that they don't do correct, you really want to push the one, you will surely get more of the negative. Let's focus on the positive that our boy and girls are doing and encourage them with the positive. Let's communicate effectively and efficiently. Let your girl or boy child know exactly what you mean and mean what you say. Say something and mean it. A long time ago when you were growing up, you would be told when mama is going away, anasema nikirudi nipate hiyo chakula amujaweka moto, so haijaiva sawa sawa. Of course, we knew they meant the opposite of it. Times are different. Let your adolescent understand exactly what you mean. Communicate effectively and efficiently, and do it on time. Don't wait until they have done a wrong. That is now when you want to come and chapper them and make so much noise and throw them out and deny them what, and yet you never directed them. I remember one case. I've been teaching high school, and I remember one case of a girl who really misbehaved in school. So I called the father, and we were there, 3 of us. In fact, I invited the head teacher then. So I called, the father was there, the girl was there, my head teacher, and myself. So we are talking about this behavior that was not very right. And guess what? The girl interrupted and said, Dad should not have this conversation. He has never told me that it is not right to do what I did. We were all embarrassed. We just told the girl to step out briefly. You were left with the father, and we told the father, it's unfortunate, your girl is not guilty. You never had time to tell her. She has said it in your presence. Let's be proactive. Communicate effectively and efficiently. Set rules and boundaries that are manageable, and set them with your child. Don't set rules and yet you yourself are unable to keep. Let me give an example, a crazy one. You are insisting to your adolescent how they should not lie. Tell me the truth. Whom are you with? And you really on their case. You really want them to tell the truth. You will not get that truth if you have been lying in their presence. Yeah, your adolescent is not a child and is also not an adult, which means when people are talking adult matters, she understands. When we go to children, she's also there. She's in transition. So if you have been speaking to your boss and you are telling your boss you are in Nakuru or wherever else you are telling your boss, and yet you are in the house, which is not in Nakuru, your adolescent can hear you lying to your boss. You will be toothless to ask your adolescent the following day to tell you the truth of what they were doing with the boy or with the girl. Let's set rules and boundaries that are possible, and let's model the rules and the boundaries ourselves. I know it is tough. It is tough because there are things that we want to do because we are adults. But my friend, becoming a parent is intentional. Becoming a parent is sacrificing. Becoming a parent is whereby you give up some of your, part of your life and give to your child, because that is what it is about. Set goals and targets together. Allow me to say this. Your child in class 4, class 5, class 6 should be clear of what they want to become after school. Even if not very, well, But at least you should allow them to verbalize what they want to become after school. And once in a while, take a journey with them and imagine what they will become after school. That way, those goals they are setting and targets direct their thoughts, direct their behavior, even when you are not there. And give conditions of those goals and targets. For example, if you want to become a doctor, you must get straight A. If you want to become a pilot, you need to have studied these subjects. If you want to become this, you need to have done this. I mean, give them those expectations of careers so that as they grow up, even in your absence, they have another thing that is motivating them. Their motivator is not just their mommy and daddy, but they have their own inner motivation because they already know what they want to become in the future. We're talking about setting goals and targets with your children. Allow me to say this. Please let your children learn to make decisions, including hard decisions. Let them make them. Let them make mistakes. It's okay. They will correct the mistakes in the go. As we are moving on, they will correct the mistake. But when we permanently make decisions for our children, they are unable to say no when it's supposed to be a no. They are unable to say yes when it's supposed to be a yes. They are used to there's a decision to be made. They turn. Where is mommy? Where is daddy? Where is the teacher? Who is going to make this decision for me? And before they know it, they are already doing those things that they did not actually expect to do. So let's help our children to make decisions on their own. And let's support them. Even when they make terrible mistakes, let's help them and forgive them as we support them. Dear parents, let's use real life experiences to train our children. Some of us present themselves like they are holier than thou, like they have never made any mistakes, that like they have never failed. Let our children know that there are some decisions that we made when we were 12 years old, when we were 19 years old, and maybe you are still suffering because of the one decision that you made. I mean, what's coming to my mind is maybe you did not get a grade when you are in school to take you straight to the university. You had to go through other places. Maybe you did a certificate, then did a diploma, then did a degree, and now you are doing a master's or you're doing a PhD. And it's simply because you didn't achieve the grades as were expected then by the system. So this is the time you are in school. So let your children know you are in college now, you're doing your first degree, you are doing your master's now, because when you did your Form 4, whatever time it was, whatever grade you got was not good enough to take you to a university. Or maybe you did not have money to go to the university at that particular time. Or maybe you got a baby and you could not go to the university that time. Let your children know your success stories and your negative stories so that they can learn from your experience. If, for example, you prayed around with boys and with boys and when you are a girl and girls when you are boys, and maybe you got pregnant, let your child know that actually I thank God you are born, but I would have desired that you are born at this other time. That way we teach our children from our experiences. Or maybe I did not have sex when I was growing up until I got married, and therefore this and this happened. I mean, let our children know our experiences, both the positive and the negative, so that they can learn from them. I know some of the parents are saying some of the things that you have done, you don't want your parents, your children to do. I wish I could give you a story that is not, I saw going around sometimes back. A parent found a resource slip, or is it, I think, a report form, and it had a lot of the wrongs and the D's and D minuses and all that. And he was very angry. Who is this? Who got this grade, and called the children one by one. Come, whose result slip is this? Come, whose result slip is this? Just for the children to wait until he called the last one, and then they said, Daddy, that result slip is actually not ours, it is yours. Now, think about that. Let's share with our children our life experiences. Teach your child to fear God. There can never be any better lesson than to teach your child to fear God. Introduce God to your child. When your child fears God, fearing you and fearing to do the wrong thing becomes automatic because they fear God. So let's enable our children to know God. And if you don't want to teach them the word of God, then support them and take them to church so that they can be discipled elsewhere. But what I'm saying is, teach your child to fear God. And the best teacher is the parent. The others can only come to reinforce what you have already taught. The best teacher is the parent. Allow me to say this. Pray for your child. You can never stop praying for your child. Your child is never old enough not to deserve your prayer. You will pray for them when they are toddlers. You pray for them when they are young adults, when they are married, when they are old. It's our responsibility to support our children with prayer. Let's commit our children before God in prayer. And finally, very, very important, give your child quality and quantity time. I know some of us will say that I give my children quality time. But friends, what is quality in 10 minutes? What can you do with 10 minutes with a teenager? Just tell me or think about it. Can really 10 minutes be enough for your teenager who has some attitude? First of all, they feel inconvenienced. They are wondering what do you want to do and what do you want to say. So before you even finish what you want to say and what you want to do, until your 10 minutes are over, let's make time for our children, and especially the teenagers. Let's give them ample time. Let them feel our presence. Let them feel our impact. If you have more than one child and you are taking them out, I want to encourage us. You have 4 children, you will take each one of them out on their own, because there is no child called plural. Every child is an individual. So there is a place for individual child, and there is a place for the family. And there is a place, of course, for your spouse, your wife, your husband. That's what it means to be a parent, and especially in the 21st century, where you have a relationship with each one of your members of the family. You have a relationship with your child A, child B, child C, child D, and your wife and your husband individually before you come to corporately. That way, we will have a family that is cohesive, and we'll be able to understand exactly what is it that is happening in the world, in the life of our children. You cannot understand by the few minutes that you spend in the evening when you come from work. We will need to be a little more intentional and give our children time. Let them know that you have left everything else. You have your phone and it is off or it is on silent mode, and you're not picking anybody's phone, because this time round I am spending with Agatha. I am spending with Manasseh, your child. That way, you will be told some of those things that are happening and you are not aware. You would not be surprised that your child is pregnant, because some of the parents, I want to believe, are surprised because they have no clue what's happening to the life of their child. May the Lord God help us. Parenting is work, but the beauty is it is good work. You see results every day as you see and witness your child growing from one level to another. May the Lord God help us. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye bye. God bless.